Finally a good fight. So I'm going to set my power to shields, and I'm going to corkscrew in again, use my little indicator, right? Because I don't want it to be out here. I want it to be nice and tight. I want it to be, you know, just visible enough here, and then I could start to up strafe, and then I can add a little bit of left strafe in, bring it up into the top quadrant. See, he's rolling in. There's the first pass. And I go for the shots. Now he does a little bit of roll there. And the best thing we can do, there we go. Fights are quick in the Buccaneer. Either you die fast or they die fast. Let's see. Eagle Mark 1. So again, right? He's going to launch missiles. That's fine. I have flares. Just flare them off. No big deal. Put my power to my shields because that's where the threat's going to come from. Now I boost to begin that turn. And I use my bottom thruster to pull myself around the corner. Ooh, so he's got ballistics. So he's really... S-turn over that corner. Into the cockpit. There. So I didn't even have a chance to get on him. But... Alright guys, today we are talking target prediction. So I took the Buccaneer out to Daymar and I had a $500,000 AUEC reward for whoever could finally come kill the trash can. And we had some good fights. This is fight number 3 of consecutive fights, just basically a slow grind down. How many guys can we get to fight? And this is, I believe, Fire's second engagement, I think. Yeah, second engagement, right? But I want to talk to you guys about target prediction and understanding how to best predict the target's movement, how to kind of, because we've talked about pitch control, we've talked about pitch fighting, we've talked about roll aiming, which I'm doing all here right now. But also, aside from getting blinded by the sun on that turn, I want to talk a little bit about successful target prediction and little indicators or tells that help you as a lag pip or lead pip, doesn't matter, as a pilot to kind of assist yourself, because proper prediction, whether you're using lag pips or lead pips, will give you more target time, which means faster kills, right? So we have the last fight, I believe, between me and Fire Drake coming up right here, and we'll slow it down and we'll freeze frame it because there's some things I want to point out. So when it comes to predicting motion, I want all of you to focus less on what the enemy's orientation currently is and more on the drift direction or where the enemy ship is sliding to. That's super important. So right now we see, after we do the merge here and then we go into our turn fight, here we go, pick him up again. And we're going to be watching him to see if he's setting some kind of pattern. Okay, now notice, watch carefully here, because if he sets any kind of pattern, then it's going to be easy for us to predict it. So now he's moving on our screen to the right. Notice how he is currently drifting. Even though he does a roll here, you can even see the trail that he's left behind is following a pattern in an elliptical motion counterclockwise, or sorry, clockwise around me. So we notice that he does another aileron roll here, but again, he's continuing the pattern set that he did before. He's continuing to move against me in that direction. So I'm going to think he's probably going to keep moving against me in that direction. So we're going to roll. So we're pitching up onto our target just like that. And see right there, I thought he was maybe going to go somewhere else, but I was able to catch it just in time. So now it's again nice and close. Back into the aim duel. And you'll notice that we're not so much looking at the direction of his nose. We're much more interested in the direction that his ship is moving. Target orientation and nose direction do come into play because they help give you signs or telltale warnings as to what direction that the enemy aircraft is, attempting to move in. Because we know that the fastest acceleration comes from the main thruster, second comes from the bottoms. So if he pulls his nose up and moves a certain way, we know that he's going to try, or most likely move in that direction, because it will cause the highest amount of deflection. Deflection being distance traveled. So right here, if once he does his roll, we'll see that there's a pattern being set. And this pattern, if you were to draw an imaginary line, that he'll come from underneath and then over top of this kind of imaginary drift angle. It's these moments right here are what we're looking for, because he's orbiting in this kind of predictable fashion, which allows us to predict where he is gonna be, which is most likely gonna be somewhere along the left side of that sun. So as he moves in that direction, which is exactly what we prepared for, we orientate our ship the best way we can, and we just start filling him full of shots. Again, another overroll here, which means he's rolled, but he hasn't really changed his vector too much. And if he's done that, and we cancel that out as quick as we can, eventually we get our guns back on target. Now, if you are the enemy pilot in this situation and you find that the enemy is tracking you very quickly and he's making movements that are too predictable, the best way to get away from that situation is to accept two things. One, no matter how good you are, there will be some times during a fight where you will get countered. Like, your movement will be countered, right? And that's okay. The best thing you can do is you got to get guns on target faster than the other guy too, except that you are going to take hits in most fights, whether or not you like it or not, right? After all these fights, the Buccaneer, to nobody's surprise, eventually turned into a true trash can and exploded. But the point I want to really drive home is when you're predicting targets, it's not so much the orientation of the ship, it's the drift angle direction. Look for patterns and then position yourself so that the pattern direction that it is moving towards is in the proper orientation, so that you're pulling your nose up onto target and you're using those bottom thrusters to kind of pull yourself around that corner as hard as you can and get those guns on target. But it takes time, patience, and practice. This doesn't come fast. And this is the same with lead pips and lag pips. But I prefer lag pips because it requires your eyes stay on the target rather than on the pip that might be juggling around sometimes. So all in all, guys, short and sweet. I hope this was kind of informative. I know it's easy for me to say, oh, just predict this direction. But this stuff comes with time. So just keep practicing. Don't give up. Get shot down 9 times, get up 10, right? Congratulations to Fire Drake for the $500,000 AUEC reward for finally taking down the trash can Buccaneer. We had a lot of fun on stream today. It was a lot of fun. It was well deserved. And I hope to see everybody who watches these videos out for stream showing some love. Take a look at Predator mounts, guys, if you're in the market for mounts for your joystick on your desk. It's the ones I use. I find them to be absolutely fantastic. Thanks again for all the love and support all of you guys have shown me. I hope to see you guys all out there training. Stop making excuses. If you're one of those people, it's okay. Just accept the fact that you got to get better. I've seen a lot of people in the persistent universe blaming stuff on latency, lag, and about a million other things. I mean, XML documents apparently too, so... don't make the excuses. Don't be one of those people. Don't victimize yourself, right? Accept that there's some room to grow. Accept that there's places to be better at. And you'll be surprised with how far you will come in just a few weeks if you make yourself 1% better every day. All right, guys. I'll see you all for stream. I was Avenger1, and I'll see you next time.